Morning everybody, OK Fixer here. We had a little cool front come in. It's quite dandy in the shade. It's still blistering in the sun. However, there is no wind yet, so it's kind of, yeah, but it's not bad. It's not bad. We're back with the F-150, and like all good American vehicles, the door locks and the door windows don't operate properly. And you know, for the life of me, I can't understand how come Americans can't make actuators and motors and switches like the Japanese can. I don't know. I just don't know. So you know, not to look a gift horse in the mouth, I'm very happy for this, but little things like this make the vehicle hateful. And so what I want to do today is I want to try to make it less hateful without any parts and just some lubricant and a hammer. So let's get after it. This is the driver's side and it gets the most use, so let's have a look. Maybe we can get away with some lube. Holy cats, the window goes up and down. Okay, let's try the passenger side. Let's see if there's any power over there. Let's have a look at the mirror. Yeah, there's power. Doesn't look like that one's going up very far either, the actuator lock. It's not going up enough. Rear door, nope. This door, let's try the back door. Holy cats, look at that, it opened. Let's see if the lock works here. Yeah, it works on this side. Okay, the window goes up and down here. How about that one? Yeah. Okay, how about this one now? Okay, let's try this. So it looks like you can feel the switch is busted in it. So let's have a look at this other door. I know I'm not going to get into it unless I open it up. Switch don't work on this back door either. Oh. Let's try that. Oh my, it works. Okay, and this one works too. Needs a little grease. So, left side just needs greased. Right side has a window in up front. Let's see if I can make it work from here. Anything? Okay, the lock switch works. Let's see here. Okay, that works. Let's check out this. Oh boy, it's getting hateful. Let's see if that works. Doesn't want to come up. Go down, but it don't want to come up. And it's a little stiff. Maybe we can get some lube on that. So we got a lock problem here and a window problem there. And then all the doors need to be greased. This is something that people never do on their cars, ever. Take door panels off and grease them. Well, I'm just that kind of guy. So, because I've seen so many of them from work that people don't do this to. They don't spray the rubber with any silicone. They don't spray their window guides. They don't get in there and spray the regulators and expect them to last forever. and they don't. So, all right, let's get after these two doors. Something I just noticed. My God, the dash isn't cracked. How is this possible? How is it possible that an American car doesn't have a broken dash? I'm stumped. Huh. Okay, tools of the trade. I don't like doing this, so I'm a drill guy. A nice hook, a panel tool, a whacker, a couple of drills if we're going to remove the motor, a 7, an 8, a 10, probably a quarter inch, and probably a 4.5. The running joke on the Fords is, how many tools does it take to work on a Ford? And the answer is all of them. We're going to use some white lithium, some silicone, some penetrating oil, and some lubricant, WD-40. So with a mix of all that, we should get motivating. I'm hoping, anyways. I'm not necessarily a Chevrolet guy, but I'm not necessarily a Ford guy either. I'm a free guy. So, you know, if something comes my way, then I'm happy that it came my way. But Ford was the first to use hooks instead of those bloody pins that are just terrible. And I was always, see, why didn't they put a Phillips in there? You know, why a 7? Why not a Phillips? Because there's a Phillips here. See? Just let that. There you go. But they used pins or hooks in their door instead of those pins. So you take out 3 or 4 bolts and then the whole thing lifts up. Let me go put this camera on a jig so I can work. And then I can't hold it at the same time. So, there you go. Hey, how many of you guys out there wear the same clothes every day? Swear to God, I got 10 of each. The wife hates it, but I don't have to ever make a choice. All I have to do is get up and put clothes on, and it doesn't matter because they're all the same. That's funny. Now that's humorous. Okay, your switches come out like, push the little tab. Now, don't worry about it. Even if you got 10 devices on here, I've never seen a car that they only go one way. Okay, you can't plug them in any other way. So, don't worry about it. Probably some screws down here. One's missing. Phillips. Then you just give her a lift. See, now, you know, those other cars or whatever with the pins and the clips and the no, man, Ford had this in '96. How cool is that? So Ford's a very innovative company. Ah, look at this. Here's another 1/4 inch. See? Yeah. It might not be quarter, it might be something else. See, what happened here, let me tell you what happened with Ford, okay? Henry Ford, the speaker comes out, it's got a little clip here, okay? Alright, here you go. Henry Ford cornered the market on fasteners back in the 20s, okay? There's all these companies coming out with Torx and reverse 7s and ultra extra 12 drive whatever, you know. And so he bought barrels and barrels and barrels. Well, he dies, okay, and he still has barrels and barrels. So you want to kind of think about how that's going to go. See, that little clip's going to go up the top. You got to remember little things like this. So he buys barrels and barrels and barrels of these. Okay, and then moisture barrier is very, very important. You have to be careful. Don't rip it. It's there for a reason. Don't rip it. Don't throw it away. One of the last vehicles to use a scissor regulator, very stout. It's not one of those cable drive things. So you know the regulator's not bad on these. It's always the motor. And they start building new cars, and they've got all these fasteners, right? And so they say to themselves, geez, what are we going to do with these fasteners? The less you have to take off, the better, okay? So just let that hang. What are we going to do with all these fasteners? And, you know, they say, wow, we're going to have to use them. Okay, so that's why you have, you know, 4.5, a 7, an 8, a 10, an 11, and Torx fasteners, all in one door on a Ford, I think. I could be wrong, but I think. Okay, what are we going to do? Well, let's plug this back in. Okay, that's nice. We'll put our key in the ignition. Sorry for the butt shot. Okay. And then here's our switch. So we can hold it down and give it a bang bang where the motor is. Uh-oh, look at that. So, usually you can just jar that loose like that. They don't get any use. If you've got a mind to, you can take this motor out and fix it, take it apart and clean it and grease it, and we might be doing that. Let's just see how well she works. Don't forget your third arm. And your third arm, you've got two arms here. See if you can see this. Okay, you got two arms here on a scissor, okay, and they're on this rail, right? You know. That grease gets, even if you just spray some cheap lubricant on it, usually it brings the grease around because it gets dry. You got a third arm here. Don't forget that. Forget that. Give that a little loving. Yes. Okay, now, and we'll give her, let's take this molding out of here. Like this. Oh, God. This is how thoughtful this guy was. Notice the windows aren't tinted. Yeah. See, you know, he really took care of this car. He didn't do crazy stuff to it. So we're going to spray a little lube on these bottoms. Oh, won't that attract dirt? Yeah, probably. And we'll see if she snowmobiles for a while. Okay, now we got it down. Now we'll throw a little silicone. A little silly ha-ha on those straps. There you go. Oh, that's nice. Look at that dog sheen. Uh-oh. You know what I see? Do I see pictures of Lily here? I do. I see traces of old tint. Looks like he had the tint taken off of it. He did have it tinted at one time. Took the tint off of it. Okay. It probably works. Probably be okay. Sounds reasonable. I'm not going to go into taking the motor out, but I can tell you this right here. Let me show you something. There's 3 indents. Don't take the whole regulator out. You don't have to. You don't have to take the glass out. There's 3 indents. One here, one there, and one there. But if it's working, I'm not going to fool with it, okay? Drill those out, and there's an 8mm bolt that you're going to drop down in the door, okay? So you take those out, put your hand here, pull the motor off. Have somebody hold onto the door glass, not with some pliers, okay? Because it might drop down on you, but it probably won't. And here's your wire connection for your motor right here. You just take and pull this apart. See that right there? And then you can trade out your motor, get another motor, and put it in there. You can take those motors apart and fix them though, also. And there was a deal on Musty this morning, and he had an old Oldsmobile, and he had pulled the motor apart the wrong way, and I put a detailed description on how to work on those old General Motors too. They have a tab on either side of the black plastic block, comes out, it has the brushes in it. You pull the armature out, you clean it all up, and you put it back together. But he had knocked all the rivets out of it, and when you knock all the rivets out of one, you let all the goodness out of the motor, and it's never right again. It makes noise. I know I've done it before. I used to do 3 or 4 of them a day, but he probably won't look at it because he doesn't like me, and he doesn't like me because I spoke bad about him one time. I was watching him put something together, and I was commenting, "No, don't do that. No, don't do that." And he did it anyways, and it made noise, and it was like, why did it make? And he commented, why does it make noise? Well, because you put the wrong parts in it. There's a lot of that. It's usually my mouth. I do things that I shouldn't with my mouth and step in it, and so people hate me. And it just usually because I say what's on my mind, but I don't give a damn what other people think about me, or some people do, and yeah, okay. All right, let's have a look at some other stuff in here. Alrighty then, let's have a look at our door lock. See if I can't get this to function. It doesn't kind of want to come up all the way. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some of this penetrating oil. I'm sorry, I'm in your way. And we're going to give it a real good what for. And I can feel things loosening up already. And you can get up there and get your manual lock too. Oh my goodness. That's 100% better. It's a lot freer. So let's see if this will draw her down now. Yeah. She's a little weak. She's a little weak, but I think she'll work now. Okay, so now we got the penetrant on there. Let's lay in a little white grease on it. Yeah, well, we're in there. Let's get a little white grease on our regulator. Oh, that's nice. Smell those fumes. You can't put enough grease in these doors. Get the scissor. Yeah. So don't think you're, oh my God, it's got too much grease in that door. Oh, can't put enough grease in them. You get a little grease on your door glass. It's okay. Now, let me tell you a little something. You're spraying grease in there, you're going to get grease on your door glass, okay? So take your sweep off first, all right? Now it's not going to be on the outside belt molding, so you don't have to worry about that. But if you grease it and you leave that on there, it'll smear up and down, and it'll get grease all over this, and you'll never get your door glass clean. Okay, that might be okay. Let's button it up, and we will have a look at this rear door. Putting her back together is just kind of a reverse thing. Sometimes you can get this moisture barrier to stick again. Sometimes it won't. But you can get it usually to stick just enough for you to do your business. The hooks, make sure the hooks are there. That one's a little tore, but it'll be okay. She'll re-stick. Oh, that's nice. Yes, that's beautiful. Like, ain't nobody been in there before. Somewhere, somehow, this goes in here. Do you remember? Like this? Oh, like that, yeah? And, if it's a machine screw, I start it by hand. I don't ever start a machine screw with a drill or driver. I start them by hand. Now, if it's a screw, wood screw, metal screw, I just give it, and it'll go. Let's see, that's a 7. Yeah, 7. 7. So that beats all that. That beats all that. That'd wear me out, especially after 34 years of doing it. That would wear me out. Best thing I ever bought in my life was the first Makita drill. Let me talk about this vehicle. I gave a look up underneath it, and I pulled all the receipts out of the glove box. Incidentally, if you're actually going to buy a vehicle, and this, the owner's manual, is not in the glove box, walk away. Because they're too stupid to keep it, walk away, because it's going to be all fudged up, okay? They don't care how the vehicle works. They just put gas in it and drive it. So that was my thought on those. This little piece goes here. You can clean this off, clean all the dirt off of it, and it won't scratch your door glass. Incidentally, that's what scratches the door glass is right there. Your belt moldings are usually dirty, but this one's meticulously clean. Like that guy who had it before me just took really, really good care of it. I'm just, you know, he's very meticulous with it. Going back to the receipts I found receipts where someone had replaced the valve cover gaskets not too long ago, and yet they're leaking again. Okay, let's examine this. First thing, what you have is you have shops that they do work on your car, right? Okay, and the job of the shop is not. We're going to have to examine this. Let's. I got to shut you off and examine this a little bit. The job of the shop is not to fix your car, necessarily. They might do that as an afterthought. But the job of the shop is to look at the vehicle and not fix it. Okay, so they say your valve cover gaskets are leaking, right? Okay. So, well, what's that going to take to fix? Says the normal person who doesn't know anything about cars. Well, you're going to have to buy valve cover gaskets, and we'll have to put them on. Okay. So you put valve cover gaskets on, right? And yes, they do put valve cover gaskets on. Okay, they do put valve cover gaskets on it, but they don't. They don't put any sealant around them, okay? And so in 200 miles they leak again, okay? And then when you come back with a leaking valve cover gasket again, they say, well, the reason why they're leaking is the valve covers are warped. So they say, well, what's that going to take? Well, you need new gaskets and valve covers. So they do valve covers and a valve cover gasket. They leak again because they don't put any sealant on them. And so you come back and they say, well, the cylinder heads are warped and you need new cylinder heads. And it goes on and on and on like this. And they will take you for everything you got if you're not careful. So I'm going to take these valve cover gaskets off. I'm going to show you, or valve covers off. I'm going to show you the new gaskets. I'm going to put some sealant on them. I'm going to put them all back together, seal it down. Ain't going to leak again. Because I'm going to fix the problem. So get on YouTube and find out how to fix your car. And get yourself a little set of tools. Are cheap. Get yourself some tools and fix your car, because there are very, very many unscrupulous shops. A shop I do work for told this guy this transmission was slipping. I don't think it slipped. Doesn't feel like it slips, and they're going to charge him up to $200 to adjust the shifter, because the shifter is out a little bit. All you got to do is undo the bolt and put it back into place. Somebody put a transmission in this and just didn't do it right. And I was underneath the vehicle, and the transmission mount in the back where it goes over the cross member is missing a bolt, and the other one is loose, and the plate that sucks it all up is cockeyed like this and rattling around. So the transmission's just bouncing up and down in the back of this. Jesus. I just scratch my head at some of these shops and how they actually can do business and they actually get repeat customers. I don't get it, because they don't fix your car. They just spend your money. You know, it's money proposition. Sorry for ranting. Okay, let's get this finished, buttoned up, and we'll go to the back door. See, this one has a proper screw in it. The other one up there has a big... Somebody's been in there before. That's another thing. It was a Virgin. Someone got into it and lost the screw, or put the screw in the wrong... What the hell kind of mechanic is that? I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to another person. I wouldn't do that to the car. Yeah, see, this one goes here. They have them in the wrong places. That's what I thought. Yeah. That's what I thought. Got your long 7 that goes down here. Let me go put those in the right place. I'll be right back. This one's missing both the screws down on the bottom also, and unless I find evidence inside, probably of someone being in here who just left them out, which is possible. They probably vibrated out just from shutting the door and stuff, you know. That one's out and that one's out. Oh, I love these door panels. Watch this. Why shouldn't all door panels come off like that? Fords. People don't like Fords. I don't understand it. Why don't people like Fords? I thought they were very well-built vehicles. Overbuilt. Nicely manufactured. These are some of the last cars that have stuff in them. Most cars nowadays are bloated boxes of air with nothing in them, and they do that to pass EPA. You know, if you have if your car doesn't weigh anything, it gets better gas mileage. That's how they do it. Yeah. They don't make them out of aluminum to be cool. All right. What you got here? Big, juicy. You're going to leave that right there. Scissor regulator. And we're going to give this old spring here a little shot of Lube. And we're going to... Yes, sir. I might have those front door glasses retinted. Probably. Probably will. Okay, now a little love in that regulator. Oh. Here. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's my baby. Okay, now let's get this a little, looks like that's got all wore out because it got stiff. Well, actually, at least it has. Let's give that a shot and see what happens. Okay. Okay. I think that'll probably work. So let me finish greasing this. Put all that together, we'll go to the other side. Take a little bit of silly ha-ha here and spray your track so the glass rolls up and down in. Now, I see this a lot, especially with cable drive cars, with cable driven regulators that are easy to break, okay? You get an ice storm or a rainstorm and it turns cold overnight and freezes everything, right? And you hit your power window, and of course it's the auto down feature. They have that for a reason, is to break the regulator. And you hit the auto down feature and the regulator explodes because the glass is froze up. Well, if you shoot a little silicone on it, it won't freeze up. So, and that's the same with the door rubbers too. You spray your door rubbers with some silicone and wipe them down and they won't freeze up. Clean your door jambs too, all the dirt out of it. They won't freeze up and you'll be able to open and close your doors and your windows without breaking anything. So I found a handful of Phillips screws. Some of them match, some of them don't, some of them, but you're not going to see them there at the bottom. Most importantly, I'm looking for security. So I need 5 of them. There's 2 missing on the other side. Also, the speaker bolts are not 1/4 inch. They look like 1/4 inch, and yet at the 6 millimeter. So you're going to need 6 millimeter, okay? Because it's 1/4 inch isn't right, so you need 6 millimeter. See what I'm talking about? I mean, you need like every tool in the box. All right. Sorry for the butt again. I don't really mean to do that to you. Yeah, let's see here. Let's see what you got here. Yeah. Where did all these screws come from? What did I miss? Oh, I know. Okay. I forgot. I'm working on a back door. Can you imagine using a screwdriver? Eee. That's not right. That's right. Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's a nice one. Next. If oil and spooge isn't dripping out of your door onto your running board, you did it wrong. Can't wait to see what's in this baby. The driver's door. The one that gets all the use. Now, remember, oh my God, there's 4 plugs. Well, so they only go one way. You can't put only one plug in the right hole. Ford won't let you do that. GM won't let you do that. Probably none of them let you do that. Because if you did, it would be a catastrophe. Both the screws are missing underneath here, and we have the wrong screw in here, so somebody's been in this door. Usually someone has been in a driver's door because it's the one that gets all the use. It's the one that goes through the drive-thru. So it's the one that's savage. It appears that somebody is putting some tape on this, which is okay. That's good. That's all right. That's no problem. I'm happy they actually thought about taping and stuff. That's good. Eights. A 7 and an 8. You know what that means. You know what that means. That means someone's been in here. Oh, look, on a wood screw. A wood screw in a machine screw application. That's great. That means the mechanic that was in here was high or drunk. I don't get it, man. I just miss out on this stuff when, you know, it's so simple to take one of these things apart and they can't put the right screws back in it. They lose them. What do they do? Just toss them over their shoulder or something? It's just ridiculous. I guess I ought to be lucky that the moisture barrier is still there. Well, let's see what they did. Looks like the original regulator still. Like anything's been done to it other than somebody's been in it. Yeah, let's get after her with the wrench. Ooh, auto down. Auto destroy. So come on. Airplane. I'm abandoning my rules again. Yeah. Okay, I don't see anything else. Bolts are all in, rivets are original, nobody's drilled this out. It probably had the original motor. I don't know why somebody was in this door. Maybe to grease it and make it work better. Maybe. And lose the bolts. Okay, let's button this up. So I couldn't quite figure out what they did. But now I know. If you look closely, it has a pane of Herculite in it. They put a door glass in it, see? Yeah, it's got PPG door glass in it. It doesn't have an original Ford door glass. So probably I'm going to source one from the salvage yard. Usually what happens is the glass gets hung up somehow in the winter, frozen. You roll it down, auto down feature. It pulls those pucks away from the glass, and then people say you need a new door glass instead of just gluing them back together, hammering them all back together and stuff. Anyways, yeah, that's why that door's been into. It's got a PPG door glass. It doesn't have a Carlite door glass. There you go. That's it. But hey, look at that dog snowmobile. Nice, huh? So somebody put a door glass in it. Let's look at one more thing. The shop said something about recommending a battery service for this also. So we're going to do a battery service on this, and if you look, that's all corroded. That's Captain Obvious to me. So he has some of these underneath there. Incidentally, these I got at the dealership that I do some work for. They have a big pile of batteries, and as I go by the big pile of batteries, I snag these off the batteries. So I have 20 or 30 of them. They're kind of nice. They're free. You just gotta take them off there. If they're really gooey, you don't take them. But the clean ones, they're fine, because the dealerships out to sell new ones. They have to sell new ones. Well, I've never seen 8mm on a 8mm on a battery before. Okay. Realistically, which one should you work on first? Which one should you take off first? Well, you should take off the negative first, right? Because if you take the negative off, if you're working on the positive, and you bump something, yeah, but this is all plastic and I can see around it and whatnot like that. So okay, we're going to take this one off. That's a nice thick one right there too. That's a beautiful one. That's a really nice one. We're going to save that for later. We're going to take this one off. Of course, when you do this, you lose your presets on your see all that crap? You lose your presets on your battery or on your clock and that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's okay. We'll clean that up later. But those are nice thick ones. We'll clean them up later. Okay, first thing we're going to do is we're going to dress up our battery, and we're going to do it with this little tool. So we give it a little love, and put some new bite on those posts. Okay, you can use your drill and a wire wheel as well. Be careful not to ground those posts. There's a tremendous amount of energy in that. Remember, a battery doesn't store electricity, it stores chemical energy. Hence, if you have a battery and it's dry and you add electrolyte, as soon as you add the electrolyte to it and get it on the plates, it's making energy. You don't have to put it on a battery charger. As soon as you put the electrolyte in it, it's making power. So we're going to clean these all up and try not to get this muck all over, and if we do, we'll broom it up. Try to get this done before it gets screaming hot out. You can take a hammer and tap all the schmo off of it. It's brass or copper, so be careful, don't hit it too hard. Tap all that crap out of there. And then I got some barrel cleaning brushes, and those seem to work pretty good too. You can get in there and really brush all that junk off. Yeah. Boy, that crap is in there. And a lot of the times, they don't clean very well. They don't clean them up very well. They don't do a very good job. They just kind of dust them off, and they put some new pads on them, and then they're done. So that's not really the way to do it. The way to do it is you really need to clean those up really well. So I'm going to finish cleaning. All right, that's good enough for me. I'm going to put this cover back on the battery. This has cells that you can check if you want to. I didn't show it. If you've ever put any water in a battery, put distilled water in a battery. Don't put tap water in a battery. Find some distilled water. It's about 60 cents a gallon at your grocery store. Maybe $1.60 now. Let's open this up. I guess nothing. I'll look around the front here. Outside, okay. Okay, and the battery also has been staked down, and you want it staked down. If you don't stake your battery down, then you'll end up with problems. It'll dance all over the place and break the plates inside. Put your plastic or your felt pads on. Which one are we going to put on first? Well, we're going to put the positive on first. You can put the positive on first because if we dance around and hit a ground, it won't spark because there's no negative attached to it, see? I've got a little 90 degree here. We'll take up most of it there. The rest we'll do with a wrench. Excuse me, I'm sorry for getting in your way. That's good right there. Do this one. Now, there's cans of stuff that you can buy that's expensive, but you don't need to buy that, because this works just as well. If you have any old enamel, it doesn't matter, any old. Black's fine, white's whatever. I'm using black right now because it matches the battery and the tray and everything. And I'm just going to hit it with a little black. See that? Yeah, that's going to keep that growth from happening. Now, you can use red and black if you want to. You can use green and red, or whatever colors you want to use. Be festive. But I'm using the cheapest I can, because that's me, cheap. Put our plastic cover back on. There you go. Walk away. Okay. Let me explain some stuff to you, okay? What we'll do today. I get, routinely, $60 a door. Minimum. I don't move off the couch unless it's $60. Okay, so to come to your house, I get $60. All right, I would charge them $60 a door. Take these doors apart and grease them. All right, lube everything. Just grease everything in there. Door runs, channels, everything. Button them all back up. Missing screws. Yeah, wash the windows, that kind of thing. $60. That's $240, okay? And then any shop in the world may or may not do a better job than I did here. And anywhere I know of, it's $30, $29.95. Probably going to be a worse job than that. So, you know, that's $270 in a quick morning like that. Okay, so think about that, about your car. Do a little preventative maintenance to it, and it will last for a long, long time. Nobody ever takes door panels apart. Nobody ever greases the insides of them, and they go cattywampus. Makes a car more hateful. Man, when you can hit the fob and all four locks unlock, you can get in the car and unroll all four wheels, or all four windows, it certainly makes the car less hateful. When you raise your hood and see that, instead of a big green bloom coming out of your battery, it makes a car less hateful. And that's the whole idea of a car. People get rid of them because they get a lot of problems. And those problems creep up, and then pretty soon you're into it for thousands of dollars. Labor is outrageous these days. So, I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. Thank you for wrenching with me on the old Ford. And we'll do some more on this old lady. and we'll have her right up and running and in A1 condition. Had a look underneath the axle and had a look at the receipts. They say a pinion seal had been replaced. I no doubt that the pinion seal was leaking because the whole thing's greasy. Now, what warranties this is this, or what I'm thinking about is this on this differential situation. The pinion bearing gets oil quite often, as well as the differential bearings on either side, because the differential is going deep into that and dipping, and there's oil slinging around. Okay, and if there's a pinion seal that's leaking, somebody might be adding to it, and if they're adding to it to feed its habit, that's fine. The pumpkin bearings, the pinion bearing, the actual gears themselves, and the spiders are going to be okay. Now, you get low on the oil, and what suffers is the bearings on the outside, because there's not anything going into the axle tubes to oil the bearings. See, nothing going in the axle tubes to oil bearings. So I'm hoping it's the bearings on the outside axle tubes that are bad, but I'll have to get it jacked up. We'll see what's in the differential. We'll have it jacked up and listen to it with a stethoscope, and we'll make our findings. In either or, there's about 10 of these in the salvage yard, and they want, with core, $180 for an axle. So might even do that. Okay, thanks for wrenching with me and fixed all the stuff. No parts. Have a great day. I will. Bye.